Hey guys, welcome back to more of my 500 sub special. I'm going to answer some more of your questions, so I'm just going to pull up my list here. And we're going to just continue on where we left off. SuperBrokenFist, he left me a bunch of nice compliments, so thank you for all of them. His or her question is, how do you feel about the retro feel on Donkey Kong Country Returns? Donkey Kong is kind of like Sonic, where I really didn't get into it. But I have seen Donkey Kong Country Returns, and I don't really know what you mean. I guess like by retro feel, do you kind of mean like they kept the same like style? Because as I understand, like Donkey Kong Country was like a platformer, and Donkey Kong Country Returns is just another platformer that was just more like upgraded and challenging and stuff. Like it's another game I don't know much about because I haven't played it myself, not really into it and everything like that. So I unfortunately don't really know how to answer that question. But in general, if you want me to try my best to answer it, I think that it's a good thing when they kind of keep a retro feel to games, because it gives you a good like nostalgia back to the original game before you upgraded it or changed it, but it also brings new like graphics to the game, new challenges, and it just makes things more modern. So I think it's probably a good thing that they did that. I think if it didn't have a retro feel, people probably wouldn't buy it, because they bought Donkey Kong Country Returns because they liked Donkey Kong Country most likely. So that's my best answer to that question. Sorry about that. Rayman400, congrats on 500 subs. Thank you. He asked 4 questions, so I'm just going to pick out 2 that I want to answer the most. Will you buy a Wii U when it comes out? That's a tough question to answer, because I tend to wait until I can see games for something before I buy it. If the Wii U doesn't have any games that are like superb or amazing or something I feel that I would want to buy, then I probably won't buy the Wii U, because what's the point? I would just spend a lot of money on a system that I really wasn't interested in or that I really wasn't going to play. So that's actually a tough question for me to answer. I think eventually when it does come out, I will buy it, but I probably won't buy it like release date or anything. Like I won't be standing outside the video game store like waiting for it, like an anticipation, like shaking in my boots waiting for the Wii U. But from what I've heard and from what I've seen from what was it called? God, now I E3, yeah, that's from E3 when they announced it. From what I've heard and stuff, it sounds great. It sounds really promising, and hopefully it is. It's been a long time since Nintendo's come out with anything good. And what made me become a gamer? I kind of answered that in the last video when somebody had asked me what my first game I ever played was, and that was a game on my N64. I think it just, my love for gaming. I wasn't really heavily influenced, I guess. I'm an only child, so I don't have any like brothers or sisters that played video games like I'm introduced to it. I do have like my cousins introduced me to it, and then you know they were very generous, like, oh yeah, you can borrow my Game Boy and Pokemon Yellow or whatever you want. And I think just because when I picked it up I was interested in it, I just kept going with it, and people just kept bringing me along that path. Like I first got the Game Boy Color, and then I got the N64. I immediately fell in love with the N64. I played Banjo-Kazooie like all day that Christmas. I don't think my eyes were glued to that screen and like wouldn't move. So I guess I can't really say anything made me become a gamer. I think it's just, I don't know, I was born to do it, I guess. Like it's just a hobby of mine. So that's kind of my best question for that answer. It's just in my blood to game. I don't think I'll ever stop. I've been gaming since I was like 6 years old. So Nyko10 asks, are you excited for Zelda Skyward Sword? It seems like you're a Zelda fan. I wish I could write a blog about this, because I actually have a lot of opinions about Zelda Skyward Sword, but in short, yes and no. I'm excited that they're coming out with a new Zelda. I think that's great. I think that's something everybody can look forward to if you're a Zelda fan. I understand not everybody likes Zelda, but just the thought of a new Zelda coming out is just really exciting. However, I'm not excited about the game's mechanics. I hate the Wii. I really do. I hate the sensor bar. I hate having to be an idiot and wave your Wiimote around and aim, and it's so much trouble. So when I heard that, you have to swing the sword, that like immediately turned me off. I was kind of just like, I'm really not too sure about this. I think it's gonna have to be one of those things that I'm gonna have to try before I buy it. Like, I might have to try Friends, or I'll have to read like reviews, or I might want to see if it's compatible with a GameCube controller or a classic controller or something. Because I'm not one of those people who really likes like interacting gaming, like the Wii and the Kinect and stuff like that. I'm just not into that. So I'm kind of sitting on the fence for Skyward Sword. That's kind of my opinion. Am I excited for it? Yes, but also no. So, the second question is, what are your thoughts on the 3DS? You'll notice 2 questions ago I said, like, Nintendo hasn't come up with anything good lately. They did come out with the 3DS, which, in my opinion, I could care less. I'm kind of one of those people that believes if something's not broken, why fix it? Plus 3D makes me feel really sick. Like, my eyes have troubles, I guess, like adjusting to the 3D, and I feel really cross-eyed, and I feel really sick almost with 3D. So like, the 3D doesn't appeal to me at all. It doesn't appeal to me in any system, whether it be Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, like anything. And I do know you can turn off the 3D, but what's the point of spending $300 or $200 or whatever it costs if you're just going to play it without the 3D? Like, that is what it's called. It's a 3DS. So I guess, like, for me personally, I'm not interested. I'm really not excited, and if I do buy one, it's eventually just going to be because they've released all these new games you can't get on the regular DS, or my DS doesn't work anymore or something like that, but I'm certainly not going to buy it anytime soon. I guess it's groundbreaking. I mean, it is stepping into 3D, which is a whole new realm of gaming. So in that sense, I think it's really exciting that gaming is going a little bit further and further. So that's kind of my thoughts on that. Let's see here. Sweet Girl 791 asks me, what is your favorite Harvest Moon game? Congrats, by the way. Thank you. My favorite Harvest Moon game would have to be A Wonderful Life / Another Wonderful Life, just because in my opinion, it's probably one of the most like unique ones. It had a very different like view of your person, I guess. It was kind of like your person was like life-sized, very human. Your character got hungry. Your character got like tired. It was very like it was third person, but it was very RPG-ish instead of like simulator-ish, which I really liked. I liked that there was only 10 days in a season. That really sped things along. I sometimes feel Harvest Moon 30 days in a season is way too much in some cases. I felt 10 days was perfect, especially with the pace that the game moves along. I love the fact that every second is a minute. I feel that's a very, very good system, because you don't play for too long, and the days go by really, really well. You can finish a day in a good amount of time. It's innovative. It's got a lot of like stuff you can do, and it's not too much, but it's not too little. So that's definitely my favorite Harvest Moon game of all times. Out of all the ones I've played, I've played a lot of Harvest Moon. Let's see, what is the next question here? MalpercioGod. Will you ever play a first-person shooter other than Left 4 Dead? That's hard for me to answer. The reason I play Left 4 Dead is because my friends play it, and it's one of the only shooters that I've really been introduced to. Most shooters I feel I'm bad at. I'm not good at them. I'm not good at aiming. I'm not good at like under pressure and shooting and things like that. So I guess I can't really say that I wouldn't, but I can say that it's definitely not really in the near future. Like the only other shooter I've really played is Halo, and I hate Halo. Halo was boring, it was annoying, and I didn't like Halo at all. It just wasn't a game for me. So the only shooters that I really played in depth are Left 4 Dead and Halo. I haven't played like Gears of War, Call of Duty or anything like that. So unless I can find someone like in real life who's willing to like lend me a game, or I rent it and I like it or something, then maybe. But for the time being, I don't think so. And their second question is, what is your opinion on Xbox Live? Meaning, do you think we should pay for it? Is it a good service, etc., etc.? It's a good service, yes. I feel that if you are going to game, it's a good option to have the option to game with other people. That's half the fun. I mean, playing by yourself is fun, but they make co-op games for a reason. And I think it's good if you want to play with people halfway across the world. I mean, I play with Jaichi, who lives in the UK. I play with people in the US. I play with Mr. Lee Penguin, who lives like all the way on the other side of the world. And I feel that that's really good, because I wouldn't even have like I wouldn't know a lot of people. I wouldn't play with a lot of people if not for services like Xbox Live or PSN or you know, things like that. So I think it's a good service. As for paying for it, I guess it's one of those things where like no one wants to pay for anything. I wish everything was free, but it's not. I think that as a company though, Microsoft just wants to make money, which obviously every company wants to do, and they would make us pay for it in one way or another. It's really not that expensive when you think about it, so I don't really mind paying for it. So, I mean, if Xbox didn't make someone pay, then PSN would be pressured to not have them pay, and the company would just lose lots of money, and that might mean, like, video games would go up in cost or something. So, I think that if you're going to offer a service like Xbox Live, PSN, things like that, you should pay for it. Definitely. Lamani57. Thanks for the questions, Jesse. Congrats on 500 subs. Thank you. What is your #1 all-time favorite game? Tales of Symphonia. Tales of Symphonia is my favorite game of all times. I've mentioned this a few times. I love that game with like every fiber of my being. And I actually have a blog written all about it. I have like a fangirl blog. I wrote about how much I love that game because I knew this question was going to come up sooner or later. So if you want to go read my blog about how much I love that game, you can do so. It's the link to my blog is on my channel, so that's there. But yeah, that is definitely my favorite game of all time. Has been for years, and it probably will remain to be my favorite game for many more years to come, unless something comes and surpasses it. And what is my most memorable game that I have ever played? That's a hard game. That's a hard question for me to answer. Memorable. Of course, like games that I have like lots of flyaways. Anyways, lots of games that like have nostalgia for me are obviously memorable. Ocarina of Time, Banjo-Kazooie, Pokemon, like all games that I grew up are all memorable for me. I can go back to a game that I played as a kid and I can remember every single nook and cranny of that game just because it's been in my brain so much and I just remembered so much about the game. So in that sense, like memorable, like I remember them the most would probably be older games that I grew up playing. Memorable games in, I guess, a like favorite game or like awesomeness factor. One of those games would probably have to be Eternal Sonata. If you've never played that game, it's a beautiful game. My friend actually has it right now, so I can't show you the box art for it. But it's for the Xbox 360, and I think the reason it's so memorable for me is because the ending of that game is the most amazing thing that I have ever seen. It actually made me cry. Like, I was in tears watching it. It was beautiful, it was awesome, and I will forever remember the end of that game, like, as long as I live, just because it had, like, that deep of an impact on me. So, in that sense, something like that would be memorable for me. So that's two examples, if you were looking for an answer to that question. And, I guess the last question I will answer is from Crystal1592010. It's lots of numbers. Is, have you ever played Star Ocean: The Last Hope for Xbox 360? Got it right here. Yes, I have. I have played this game in great detail. I think I actually have like 44 out of 50 achievements or something crazy like that on this game. So I've spent a great number of time on this game. I love that game. It's great. The story's great. The characters are great. The battle system is great. The story's great. The game is awesome. I've played it. I love it. And that about answers that question. Okay, actually, you know what? We're gonna see if we can answer one more here. This is from Base6286. Woo, 500 subs, congrats. Thanks. What's the most recent game you've completed start to finish, or what you feel is finished? If it's a Harvest Moon game or something of that sort, that was not an LP. That's actually a hard question, because I don't actually play a lot of games now that I do LPs. One of the ones that I've, I guess, completed was Oblivion for the Xbox 360. I've literally had that game for 2 years, and I've been working on it forever. And I recently completed a lot of the guild missions, so I got a lot of achievements from the guilds. I also finished the main storyline, so in that sense the game is finished, and I did do a lot of work on that game. I've been working on it for a long time, just kind of playing in my spare time. So I finished that one recently. When Dragon Age 2 came out, I just literally sat here for 3 days straight and played Dragon Age 2. I finished that up, and Golden Sun 3 I also finished quite recently for my Game Boy. So those were 3 games that were not LPs that I have actually finished quite recently, that I enjoyed all those games. And second question is, do you have any guilty pleasure games, such as a game you really enjoy playing, even though it might be considered kind of lame? Most people I talk to think Harvest Moon's pretty lame, so I guess in that sense, a lot of people think Harvest Moon, oh, who would have fun playing that? I love Harvest Moon, I don't care what anyone says. So I play a buttload of Harvest Moon, and I think another game I play a lot is a game called Columns Crown. What it is it's kind of like Tetris, but it's kind of made a little bit easier, a little bit more cartoony, and it has a little bit of story behind it. It's for the Game Boy Advance, and I play it a lot. I usually just lay down in bed before I go to bed, and I just play it to make myself tired. So I kind of play Tetris every night, and it's kind of a game that is just oh, you can play this for hours and hours. It'd be so boring. How can you play this? But I actually think it's a lot of fun. It's simple, it's awesome, and I really like it. I can't really think of anything else that I really like to play that would be considered lame. I don't really play anything that's really out of the ordinary, so that's going to be about it. I got 2 more pages of questions to go, so hopefully I can get through those tonight, and see you guys in a minute here when I get some more questions.